All right, so you guys have probably been wondering, like, where are, like, during winter break, like, where do all the kids go? Like, where's the high schoolers? Yeah, where'd they go, right? You have. Anyways, but actually, we had a winter workshop, and instead of just doing normal Kogape in Michigan, we decided to combine with the DMV in Maryland. So we had like a collaboration. It's kind of like Evolve Workshop back in 2019. But yeah, that was our idea. So we had the kids drive. We took a van and we drove like 15 hours there straight. Thank you, Uncle. Thank you, the uncles, for driving us. But yeah, so I prepared a presentation, just a couple of photos because I thought you guys might want to see. Hold on, let me turn this on. Yeah. So the topic was made for more, and each day we had like our own it was receive, discover, ignite, and I think purpose. We had like our own topics per day for like what the kids will learn. And then here are like external activities we did outside. We had a lot of lectures. Actually, we divided, the camp was huge, so we divided into 3 factions, and each faction had 3 different speakers per day. So in total, probably like 26 speakers. So yeah, if you ask around, like I gave a lecture, Nana gave a lecture, Sola gave a lecture. So yeah, really big learning experience. And then we also had, Dr. Shield. He just came to give us some talk, and we also had internal activities like up there. You could see like praise and worship, and then we also did like a touch of love activity, but it's not like a touch somebody who. It's like it's like all the kids sit on a chair, and like all the staff would just go around. They're like blindfolded, and then all the staff would go around like giving them some love when they really like agreed to the prompt. It was very powerful, I would say. It was also very long. And here's some more photos. Here's some familiar faces you might know from the Midwest, Ohio. Here's Aya, and here's some more activities. And we also had talent night. Wow, DMV has so many talents. Like they all really love dancing, and I think that inspired some of the kids like here to also dance as well. And here's some more photos. And here's New Year's Day. We had like a bonfire, and then there was like fireworks as well. And this was the last day where he was handing out our t-shirts, and yeah, just like a nice group photo. And here are also more familiar faces you might recognize. And yeah, I just wanted to show you the workshop photos, and now we're gonna go into a testimony given by Lianna.
Okay, so hello, my name is Lianna, and I went to the workshop as a participant, even though I had just graduated. And I thought I just wanted to share a bit about my experience in the workshop. So before the workshop, I never really connected God with my actual life. And like when I felt sad or happy or overwhelmed, I never like connected God with it. I always thought of God as an idea more than a presence, if that makes sense. And honestly, the only time that I ever thought maybe God exists was when I was in nature. Like I would look around and feel like, okay, something had to be behind this. And that was the closest to something that I felt which was bigger than me. So yes, so during the workshop, it was not like I suddenly felt different, but I think I started becoming more aware of my surroundings, and I started thinking, what if God isn't separate from what I feel? What if God is present in the emotions that I experience, and I realized that the emotions that I feel, which is sadness, peace, joy, and even confusion, aren't things that I experience alone, and that awareness itself might be God's presence, if that makes sense. So in my fraction, in the first few lectures, I think it was on day 1, we were asked to write this down, and I didn't even realize we had written this down, and I'll just read it out. It was, You're not being asked to force any emotions or prove anything, just to gently notice moments of care, your questions, and any restlessness, and the quiet moments in your heart, because that's where real faith often begins. So at the time, I didn't fully understand what this meant, or like, I think I didn't relate to it, so I didn't actually think much of it. But it was just yesterday that I was going through my notes and I realized, this is something that I took away from the workshop. This is the biggest takeaway that I had from the workshop. It was just being aware of my surroundings. It was just being aware of God's presence. And that awareness honestly connected a lot with the purpose or the theme of the workshop, which is Made for More. That was the title. And I realized that I was already doing things which I thought were small, which was actually not small, which is just like caring for others, showing love, but I was just doing it subconsciously. But yes, so from one of the lectures, it was a simple but yet pretty straightforward thing, something that I think a lot of us forget. But yeah, there was these three statements that I heard from one of the lectures that really resonated with me. So the first one was, patience without love is tolerating. Forgiveness without love is neglecting yourself. And the third one was, if you don't have love within you, the love that you give is never sincere. So the last one especially is something that I've been noticing happening around me. And I think it's very important to remember, because if the love that you have within you is not genuine, then it's not sincere. It doesn't come from your heart. And being aware of that, noticing when love isn't sincere, is so important. So yes, so connecting back to the theme of the workshop, I realized that I was already doing things that I thought were small, but I was doing them subconsciously. I hadn't connected it to God or thought about my purpose, but becoming aware helped me see that I'm capable for more than I think, and that purpose isn't a destination, but a direction to live by. This was also one of the statements from one of the lectures that I heard, and that was the whole point of the lecture, and it was my team leader who gave this lecture, if I'm just not wrong, and she just kept repeating the same statement through her story. And it just kept making more sense as she narrated her story. So it resonated a lot with me, and I didn't understand what this meant till the very end of the workshop. So yes, so I'm still figuring out what I believe in, but the workshop helped me become aware in a way that I wasn't before. And honestly, I feel like awareness is like a beginning. Like, I think it's a very good start. And I didn't come back perfect, or I didn't come back change overnight, but I did become more aware of God's presence in my life. So yes, that's my testimony. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lianna. All right. So I'll be giving my second testimony just from like a staff perspective. So actually before this workshop, I think a month or 2 months before, King, who was the director of the workshop, made us do like these conditions, these spiritual conditions at home. It was like on a weekly basis. Something very like I'm not familiar with. Like I've done conditions on GPA, but never before workshop. So like I was like, wow, this is like such a change in like atmosphere, like and planning as well. But yeah, I think I had a lot of high expectations that like the prayer conditions are going to invest into these kids' spiritual lives, or like during the workshop or after the workshop, they're going to change as human beings. Like, I think I really had high expectations because, like, yeah, I think everyone can relate to that. But looking back, I think the conditions were really for me, the prayer conditions, because I really felt like I learned so much, and that's why I'm here. Like, I really felt God's presence in my life when I was at the workshop. For example, like, it was praise and worship day 1. It was like after dinner, and yeah, everyone was just like hugging each other and like singing together. And I had this sister who was standing right next to me that I just joined, and she was just like, she was crying, and then I started bawling too. Like, we were both bawling together. And she was, instead of like holding the other person, she just held me like the entire time, and like her grip got stronger and stronger too. And during that, I was just crying. I don't know why I was crying, but I realized like God loves like this kid so much. And I was like, when I was crying, I was like, yeah, I would do anything for these kids. Like, I would die for them. Like, God would die for these for God's children. And from there, I feel like from that first day, I was so determined to like keep giving. Like I wasn't core staff, I was only like a team leader, so I can't really, do as much planning and stuff, but I knew that if I wanted to invest my all, if I could just give and give, like even through the small stuff like cleaning or getting the kids to gather back, or just like babysitting a bunch of kids like during my free time, like never sleeping, like I realized that's how I could really be a messenger for God. And I realized like because I had this mindset like of just giving, like I didn't even have that many hours of sleep. Like we slept we shared a hotel room with our team, like our kids, and man, these kids would stay up till like 12 a.m. But I let them stay up because I wanted to get closer to them, so we would have talks at night. And even with like the poor amount of sleep, I don't know if you know me, but I'm the kind of person who like I need my full 8 hours of sleep, or else I'm like in a really bad mood. But I felt that like with 5-6 hours of sleep, like I woke up like feeling super powerful. Like I felt super moved. Like I didn't even like think about myself. Maybe it was like the Celsius, but also like I just like my mind every day in the morning was to keep giving in any way that I can. And I feel like because of that, I was really able to get so much closer to the kids, and they felt like much stronger with me. And I feel like that's how God was really working for me. And to become this selfless person that I was, to keep giving and giving, is not something that I am at home. Like I feel like at home I'm totally opposite than I was at camp. But I feel like because of this camp, it gave me like a really good direction on who I could be, Like if I come back home, like I know what I was like at camp, and how can I like take the steps to become that ideal person again, So yeah, selfless person. And yeah, also something I realized is that like I'm not like perfect as an older sister. Like there's a lot of doubts that I have in my mind, like maybe I shouldn't act this way, or maybe I shouldn't share this. But I also realized like everybody is different in receiving and giving love. Like even if it goes down for me to go down to the kids level, like all their humor is from TikTok. Like if I have to go down to that level, like that's the best way I feel like to connect for me, to connect to them. Like forming a common base, and then give and take really works. But yeah, and these kids also really inspired me as well. Like I learned a lot from them, like that like no matter what my background is, or no matter like my humor might be odd, no matter what I look like they always loved me, and they're very unchanging in their love. So yeah, I feel like I learned a lot from this workshop, and also on how I can be the best version of myself with God. Thank you so much.